Hi, Diamond. It's Mrs. Six. Okay, well, first of all, I'm going to show you how to get rid of these discussions so you don't have that 148. That would drive me crazy. So, all you have to do is go to, so this was exempted for you, but you can still click on it. And anytime you want to clear out the notifications, you just do mark all as read, and that clears that out for you. And then it'll tell you down there. And then if you go back to home, you'll see it decrease significantly, but then there's still a couple left. So we go back and scroll down to the introduce yourself assignment. Same thing, you got to click on it and then hit that drop down arrow, mark all threads as read, and go back to home. And it's there. So now you just have the three unread assignment back. So that's a little bit better. So it's not, that number would be driving me nuts. Okay, so where to find assignments. So obviously in the class plan, you're going to have assignments, right? So you have your pacing guide, and this tells you what to do for the week. And then you have the assignments that were due, right? So this is what I recommend. So you have the plan, but really you want to be able to look in through the class content. So if you just click on content, that's going to take you to the assignments, right? So that's the orientation page, which you did that obviously already, I believe. And so if you go into the first one, then you have reporter's reflection. Number one, you had the quiz, right? So this reflection, so everything is literally right. So once you get into two, all the stuff so far for two is right here. So personally, I would go through the content up at the top because I think that's the easiest way to do it. And then you literally just go down through each like number or each page. Um, but you had a question about the reflection. So if we go back up to number one and we go to reporter's reflection, obviously, you know that there's no technical journal. It's just a Word document that you're going to upload into the Dropbox. But if we go to the assignment, so what you are supposed to do for this assignment um, is you are supposed to, and if you go, it's always on the stat student guide. So I'm going to go back. This right here, where it says materials, that's where the lesson always is going to be, and it's going to give you the activity number one. So that's the only one that you have to do. This is optional. I don't ask you guys to do any of the optional stuff. You're just doing the first thing. So basically, what it's asking you to do is you are supposed to go to either Digital History or Library of Congress, or you could actually just Google an article concerning one of the following presidents. So you could Google any article concerning one of those presidents. So basically what you needed to do was, I'm going to pull up, hold on, I'm going to pull up a blank Word document just to show you like how simple this could possibly be. They're 5-point assignments, so I don't want you guys making like this. Where did that blank document just go? There it is. I don't want you guys making like this harder than it needs to be. So the first thing that you have to do is you have to have the link. So I'm just going to say, who are we going to look up? Let's do Kennedy. I like Kennedy. So John F. Kennedy. So let's Google John F. Kennedy. The websites that I've recommended are also in there too, so you can use those as well. There are videos that show you how to find those different sites I was talking about. So let's do, let's do John F. Kennedy news article. I'm just going to be that specific. Oh, well, my computer's not working. John F. Kennedy article. Okay. So, um, let's look at this one. We're just going to pick one. So, there's an article, right? So, that's kind of long, but we'll still use it as an example. Your article doesn't have to be the song. So the first responsibility you have is to copy the link. So you're going to do that, and you are literally just going to put it up at the top. My keyboard is acting all crazy. I don't know why. So copy the link. So that's the first thing you have to do. So, oh, so the next thing that you have to do is you have to list any of the news values that the story meets. So back in 1.01, we talked about news values. So the news values are timeliness, they are prominence, their impact. There's like 6 of them that were discussed, right? So when you're dealing with a president, you're always going to have prominence. So even without reading that article, I know that there's going to be prominence in that article because he's the president, right? So what you are doing is it's asking you to list 2 news articles, right? So prominence is the first one. The article discusses Kennedy, President Kennedy, and because he is a president that satisfies the prominence news value. Okay, so then you have to have another one. So then some of the other ones, like I said, were impact, proximity. So let's see. So it's the legacy of John F. Kennedy. So you could read through here and you could figure out what the other news value would be, right? So with that, you would literally write what the other news value is. I don't know for sure what it is. I'm going to just make something up because I don't want to do the assignment for you, and you are going to need to actually use a different article when you turn this in. Just FYI, you can't copy mine. I'm just giving you an example of what to do. But let's say it's talking about and it was an article that was written for let's see, it was when he was shot, remember? So like he was one of the presidents that was assassinated. So that might, if the article had to do with that, so maybe that would be impact. So that would be one of the news values that it would be. So then I would say the article discusses his assassination, which would be incredibly, and I spelled that wrong, incredibly impactful to most readers. Okay, literally, that's the assignment. That's all you need. Most of the assignments are going to be very similar to this, to where you only are going to need a brief paragraph or sentence or 2, and you have to have the links, and that's it. So like in the next news article you do, you have to do something about President Trump. It's going to be the same thing. Current article about President Trump that's run within the past few weeks, and then you have to pull 2 news values out. So I would highly recommend that you go to the 101 and you would look at what those news values are. So if we look back at 101 and you have introduction, now and then, you have journalism overview, you have all of those things. So if we go to 102, learn news values. So in 102, you have that. It looks like you looked at that page already. But if you go in and look at the news values, it's going to have a link of news values that you're going to be able to go through and look at. So those are the news values. And then there's another page on here that goes through and explains what each of them basically are. So I would make sure if you have not gone through and looked at these that you do that again and maybe just familiarize yourself with what the news values are because we use these through the entire semester. So this is a super important section that you want to make sure that you've definitely read. And then the other thing that I want to make sure that you're aware of is that for every assignment, I do a video. So, like the journalism one overview, that's just an overview of the whole class. Quizzes, I don't do videos for, but the reader reflections, that's how they should work. This is a help video for this specific assignment, another help video, and another, or an instructional video, no video there because it's a quiz, another instructional video. So every assignment has some form of assignment directions or has some form of a video that is going to help you with that assignment. So I would highly recommend looking at those just because it's going to help you in the long run. Okay. So hopefully all of that helps. And if you have questions, let me know. Okay.